More and more of what people do today is online. With so many different interests, it's harder than ever for brands to get their attention. Brands need to work with multiple technology providers to get the impact they're looking for. And with so many difficult and hard to optimize options, how do you decide? Introducing Times Ad Center, a unified ad platform. Get access to India's largest consumer destinations across genres, featuring original content and engaging experiences across devices. Our audience targeting tools lets you identify the users that are relevant to you. Choose from over 600 segments we've made, or simply create your own. Target them on any device or using any ad format, video, native, mobile, and more. And if you need help, we're happy to provide personalized support along the way. We offer rich, transparent analytics to media buyers with robust data and real-time insights. And in the background, Times Ad Center is optimizing on the fly to make sure you get the best results. Be a part of Times Ad Center, making digital advertising smart, seamless, and simple.
Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate you taking the time. We are very excited here to launch what we are calling Columbia Traffic Network. And this is a native ads platform that first time, Times is taking a step towards that. And we're very excited to have you all on board to witness this. So this was the Times Ad Center platform that we had launched last year. And it was a lot focused on audience-based targeting. It was based a lot around how do we do a unified buying platform for Times. This time what we've done is we've taken it one step further and said, okay, what's happening out there which is massive and it's native. And so what we've done is we're calling it the Columbia Traffic Network, which is essentially a native ads platform. This is going to be available across mobile, across display. As you guys are aware, we have probably the largest premium native inventory out there. So it's very exciting times for us to participate in what something's been going on in the industry for a long time, at least in the US side of things. The principal parts of this launch is going to be content ads, product ads, and app ads. So what we're doing is we're taking the movement from banner and evolving it into native, and these three will be our principal source of distribution. I just want to take a minute to just explain what sort of ad formats are out there that you can expect from us. We are very excited to share with all our agencies, all the partners, various ad formats in native. Principally, they'll be in two parts. One is the in-stream ad formats, which are essentially, you see as part of the content reading cycle, and one is the end of page. These ad formats, obviously, as you're aware, be it, Facebook, be it, Rand would tell you about Taboola. A lot of the leaders out there have done a great job in sort of taking these ad formats and generating tremendous amounts of performance for various advertisers across genres. So this is sort of the two high-level sort of ad formats that you will see. In terms of what is being offered, I mean, just like any other ad platform, there will be an advertiser view. So the advertiser gets the scale, that obviously comes being Times Internet, and sort of the other aspect is the transparency. So once you have scale and transparency for a performance, sort of a delivery that we're looking at, I think this should be very exciting as we launch this into this quarter. The other side of the equation obviously is the publisher view. We obviously have a lot of properties both in mobile and desktop, and beyond is what we are looking this quarter. So we are not just looking at within from the Times Internet perspective. We're trying to see if we can take this outside. From a publisher's perspective, and we being a publisher ourselves, a lot of control is something that this platform offers to you. Obviously yield. I mean, yield has been the principal reason why all the native ad platforms have done so well in the recent past. So yield is something that we are very aggressively looking for us. That becomes like a principal way of getting more publishers on board. The other side is the analytics part of it. I mean, we have great reports because of the data platform. We have tremendous amount of understanding of the audience. This is something we intend to share with you as this is rolled out. The other interesting piece, and you would appreciate that, at least whoever is been sort of sinking their teeth into the native side of things, it's very hard to bring the demand and supply together. I mean, on one side, you had the banner world, right, where it was, okay, you create an MREC, you create an innovation, you give it to an exchange or you give it to a publisher and it just works. Native is a hard one. I mean, native, you have all these little text and images that are getting dynamically assembled at various points in time. It's sort of hard for a publisher to aggregate and get all the demand out there. So one of the key aspects of this platform is how do we merge the two? And this is what we are calling it the ad creation piece of our platform, where you go in and you kind of define your various widgets as a publisher, as a demand partner. You come in and you define your sort of physical creative aspects, and we put that together to kind of give you the scale that is available on native. The other aspect, before we sort of go deeper into native, is to understand how the native versus the banner ecosystem is going to play out. And we being in the banner space for the longest time, impact advertising is still our bread and butter and continue to be our bread and butter. It's very interesting for us to understand how the native versus the banner is playing out. And we're all aware that native is gaining. I mean, there's no denying that. Everybody's seen that. I mean, news feeds in Facebook started it. Search has done it before that. Now, the content marketing guys are doing it in a great way. So one interesting aspect that I want to point out there is the actual ad blindness that is kicking in on the banner side, which is one of the reasons why we thought native is a very interesting direction for us to evolve. We are almost seeing, as almost 100 million people in the Indian region or APAC region visit us every month, that people are almost starting to ignore those top RHS, LHS slots. So what is happening is, as the end consumer is getting more and more aware of the advertising industry, the banner performance is dropping. And because of which, what we have done is essentially created this native ad stream format that merged very well with the content. The other thing that is of interest, obviously, is the relevance. I mean, if you look at the native ad piece, on a content side, to give relevant content to the user, it's very interesting to the user. If you put a banner that says 50% off, it's disjointed in the sense that he's not connecting that to the rest of the article. So that's one of the couple of findings that sort of led us to kind of go down this route of looking native very seriously over the last year. And it's been almost a year in the making. The other aspect is, if native is big, what is the future standing out like? It's a very interesting question. We've been trying to get our arms around that ourselves. So one of the things to answer that question is to understand how the banner evolved over the last maybe a decade. If native is going to take a share out of that industry, it's very interesting to understand how the banner evolved. Maybe we'll get to understand how the native will evolve. So what we've done is sort of looked at version 1.0 of AdTech. And these were old times, and I'm sure you guys, when you were in the ad network space, we were looking at some level of automated order booking, we were looking at basic optimization, we were looking at some level of mediation and targeting. So it was old school, sign up a site, get a demand aggregated and pump it down. And today, I don't have to give an explanation around that, but if you look at the RTBs, every impression is getting sold one impression at a time. The whole point of signing up sites is gone. Data is becoming a very important aspect. The dynamic creative is generating such tremendous performance for people. And this has all happened in something like 6 to 8 years. Now, having said that, the tech platforms that all of us have built over the last decade is suddenly available to native as well. So the transition that has happened on display banner in a decade, we are anticipating to have that transition happen in a year. And that gives us that big opportunity where we think that if we can put ourselves right, we can work very closely with you guys. It's no longer a buyer-seller market. We're all jointly figuring out something so that we can get the best ROI for the advertiser. Maybe that's how native would evolve. And this evolution is going to happen driven by technology, maybe in a year, because all those pieces, all the DSPs, all the RTPs, all the DCO, is all ready. It's all waiting for us to just use. And we see native programmatic coming into OpenRTB today. We see the DMP players joining the native bandwagon. We see all the RTBs opening up on the native side. So this transition is already happening. So we see 15, 16 as a very transition year where a lot of this stuff that has happened in display over a decade hits native this year. And we just want to be prepared and working with you guys. The other thing is, because native is also very content heavy, so we expect a lot of content generation to get automated, something slightly different from what the banner industry is seeing. We are trying to work with a lot of partners of ours who are looking at content generation in a serious way. That is one additional aspect of native that I think is going to get more and more prominent. If all of this stuff is being driven by technology, I mean, the entire ad tech space, and it continues to be, I mean, we just want to share our perspective of how we see technology impacting the entire native ad tech ecosystem over the next couple of years. So there are a few things that we think are happening. We are saying content is a new banner, and I'm not saying displacing banner, but increasingly because becoming important in the industry. And the example there is something like, it's almost like Singapore Airlines would put out a banner saying, okay, here's 50% off for the tickets, right? And that's a banner, and that was sold. Now they're saying, okay, what are the 6 top destinations to see in South Asia or Southeast Asia? And that's a content. It's a very subtle distinction, but it's creating a massive impact on ROI. We're seeing 4x, 5x, 6x returns for the advertiser when they do that stuff. So we are kind of almost saying, hey, is content the new banner? Which is very interesting and profound, especially for a publisher who's been dealing with banner and impact advertising all our lives. The other stuff is data is the new inventory. That's interesting. If you look at what has happened 10 years ago, we were in the ad network space a long time back, and the smartest sales guy would come out there and say, oh, I signed up this site. And it was like the big occasion, right? And it was even bigger than signing up the biggest advertiser. Now, one impression at a time is how things are getting sold. So the concept of inventory is moving, in our opinion, and becoming more data-centric. So right now, people are trying to save their data and say, I can use this data and then reach out to whichever inventory we want. It's a very interesting and profound change that we are seeing in the ecosystem, and we want to be prepared for it. The other is technology and new sales. We see, unfortunately, a lot of not so good-looking dudes replacing or at least working with the beautiful people we had in sales a long time back, which is an interesting development, but we are up for it. So we are seeing that the geeks taking over the distribution of sales to a certain extent. I mean, discovery of new advertising opportunities is automated. This stuff is happening as we speak. I mean, a lot of our revenue today is coming out of automated channels. And it's very profound. I think it's changing the organization itself. It's changing the way we are designing our platforms. It's changing the way we are interacting with advertisers. We just thought we'll share it with you. Just to kind of go slightly more detailed into technology, just so that we get a perspective on that is, I think at the end, all ad tech is driven by a recommendation engine. So finally, the campaign comes in, we take in the user, we take in the bid, make the recommendation, give it to the user. I mean, that's finally all that is right now across all the top ad tech players, and I'm sure all of you guys would agree. So what we've done is last few years, you said we've revamped our whole ad tech space in Times Internet. We have created a great recommendation engine, which is our core of our technology, and this is the Columbia platform from which we get the name for Columbia Traffic Network. It has, at a high level, a lot of services, if you will. So it takes in things like audience. We have some browsing history of all of you guys. You guys are watching certain things in politics, certain things in shopping, real estate. We're trying to profile you anonymously, obviously. We want to save, it's absolutely anonymous information that we're gathering and trying to understand what is it that you would do next. Similarly, what sites are you visiting? So that's contextual. Ad history, how many times you've seen the ad? Have you clicked on it? Algorithmic stuff like collaborative filtering, how do you actually, if you have clicked something and 10 other people have clicked something, then you guys are in the same pool. Popularity, what's most trending right now? What is Kim doing latest, which everybody is clicking? Social viral, what is trending on Twitter and Facebook? So we have taken all of these services, we sort of put it into our recommendation engine, and when you come on to the Times Internet properties going forward, a lot of these things are sort of creating that smart recommendation only just for you. And that's the core intellectual property that we've developed. I think at certain level, content ads and native is sort of bringing the beauty and the geek. I like this picture as well. What is happening, I think, is the technology and the art of branding is coming together in a very interesting way, and I think all of us need to be prepared for that. I think that's really our perspective at the end of it. So at the end, I just want to say thank you all. I don't want to bore you with a lot of details on the geeky stuff that we have, but Native 2.0 is coming. We want to do business. We want to be in business with you. We want to understand what is it that we can work with you, and this has to be a joint effort. Thanks for your time. What we'll do now is we have a interesting format where we will call in industry experts, and I will start with Praveer. Praveer is heading the DBM side for India at Google, and he's got a tremendous perspective on what's happening on the automated side. Vicky, who's looking at programmatic from our side, now from our team, will ask him a couple of interesting questions. Guys, please go ahead.
Thank you, guys. So thank you, Prabir, for joining us. And just to those of you who don't know, so Prabir is actually the one who's actually set up the programmatic setup in India that we see DBM already. I remember 2 years back at Comly when we were setting up a DSP, nobody really understood. The agencies were actually throwing us out that what are you trying to do out here? Thanks to DBM, that people right now are at least accepting programmatic and understanding the mix of how RTB is working. So Prabir, the first thing that, one very quick question, very straight to the point I want to ask is, when we're launching something like Native, which is going to be available on CPC, pay-per-click model, how do you see that as impacting the current search? I mean, I know you've been on the search side for some time, and I read your recent post as well on search. So how do you see that impacting search and the affiliate and the performance business right now? I mean, India being so heavy on performance and affiliates that we all know. How do you see that impacting the current stream?
Thanks, Vicky, for your very kind words. It's truly an honor to be here and sharing this desk with you. To address your question in terms of what's really happening with different channels that people are advertising on, I think digital was, when we started 10 years back, was struggling. It's now reaching a point where people have kind of maxed out on each channel that they're kind of operating on, whether that's PPC, whether that's social, video, mobile, whatever that might be. They're looking at quicker ways of, or what we call the quick wins in the market. That's not really impacting the way CPCs are behaving. I think the conversation in our world is more about efficiency from an overall perspective, not just looking at one metric like a CPC or a CTR. But we're seeing advertisers that we work with are having a different set of conversations around measurement. So CPC is kind of taking the backseat, and we've seen that as an evolution that when digital grows, people move away from cost efficiencies to look at profit margins and then start looking at how digital is really driving my bottom line. So we've crossed the first level, which has taken us almost 10 plus years. But now we're seeing a lot of people saying that, hey, if I am advertising on search, social, mobile, video, native, affiliates, network, blah, 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 how can I then start to make sure that all of these channels put together is driving an X percentage profitability to my business? So that's how advertiser landscape has largely changed.
Okay. And when you said that, like search, display, mobile, social, now native is going to be seen as one vertical. And that brings me to my next question. Which of the, you probably dealt with the top 25 advertisers in the country at least, and these categories probably like e-commerce, retail, travel, telecom, auto, FMCG, BFSI. Which of these categories actually would give the highest weightage or is accepting and adopting native right now, like to the fullest, at least from the most advanced ones, from these categories?
Okay, strangely, it's not the top guys. It's B2B, which is pretty dominant on native, because B2B has always been around content-based marketing, and they've kind of latched onto it very, very quickly. We're seeing some guys on finance vertical getting onto it very slowly, but not very large spenders on native. We will see a lot of auto guys, automobiles come in. CPG always has struggled with content because there's not much to really associate with it. And plus their brand guidelines are very stringent. They only want to be seen on certain type of content. Yeah, which in some cases can become a bit tricky when you're talking about native. So we're still seeing CPG kind of going, yeah, we'll test it out, but we don't know how much trust we have on this platform. So a lot of traction on B2B is coming on board. A lot of traction from technology companies coming on board. When we say technology, it's the the likes of Intel, the likes of Lenovo,
Okay,
the manufacturers of technology or devices, so to say. E-commerce, I think, is still very much performance and affiliate driven because they're all starting their businesses right now. So it's all about proving the meat right now.
Okay.
And as they evolve, I'm pretty sure they'll start evolving into native. We've seen that happen in Southeast Asia with the likes of Zalora, the likes of equivalent of what we have in India, getting onto native. So we've just started the journey. What we've seen also is globally, we think that native is a $5 billion opportunity.
Yeah.
And we see of that 5 billion, a good 30-40% coming out of this particular region. So we are just on the tip of the iceberg. I think the full scene is yet to unveil. So big opportunity for all of us out there.
I can imagine with e-commerce, what are people like? Instead of just saying that come look up for housing out here, I don't know how that's going to shape out. Like there are 5 different ways you can come and read about us. So the most important last question that is, how do you see like now the native is accepted as part of programmatic and IAB's approved 6 ad units and that's going to be part of RTB. So today whatever you're buying and selling on the exchange, even the native ad units are going to be part of that. How do you see that as? Do you see that as a big kicker for us for the next 2 years? That will really help us grow native because everybody, like every publisher, every network, every ad platform is launching their own native. Everybody have their own different native ad units. Now that IAB centralized it, now that the entire forum, every company is going to have these set units, and then you can come and plus ons with your own one. Do you think that will be a nice kicker for us that we're getting to launch with native?
Yeah, I think with IAB launching standards around native has been a big kicker for us. As DoubleClick, we kind of waited and watched this industry because we are very focused on making sure the kind of ads which are being delivered are of the best quality, the most transparent, most trackable. We were kind of on the back seat for a long time, waiting and watching how this industry is going to shape up. With IAB now stepping up, saying that, hey guys, these are the global standards. If publishers are following on RTB, we should open it up. Okay. And in the last, surprisingly, the last 2 months or so, we've actually taken a big notice around that on native. We're going to start testing our some stuff in Japan as a market. And as that grows at the scale, you will definitely see a lot of this thing coming onto the Google stack or the DoubleClick offering. Like I said, it's still early days for everybody to kind of jump in. And being a large organization, we're not thinking one country, but we're thinking global adoption. So as the global adoption grows, you will see a lot of push coming from companies like ourselves. And definitely we'll support the publisher ecosystem, we'll support the advertiser ecosystem to really drive the adoption of native wherever we are present locally in the market.
Sure. Thanks. Thank you so much. So thank you so much for this session. Thank you, Prabir.
Thanks, Vicky.
Thank you, Prabir. I would like now to request Michael Storm, who's heading AdTech AOL company in South Asia, to come on and share some of his views. And Gaurav, who's looking after mobile sales, will have a few questions for him. We're trying to learn from you guys, that's why.
I hope so.
Please.
Thank you, Swapnil. Shall we stand?
Sorry?
Shall we stand?
Up to you.
No, I would prefer standing.
Welcome, Michael, and thank you, Swapnil. Michael, first up, a very obvious question. How do you see native growing in India? What is it, you think, how is it that it is going to drive the growth? And how is it going to impact the overall digital advertising landscape in India?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really fancy question, to be honest, because every time I come to India, I'm from Europe, so I have the privilege to come here very often. I always figure out that India is such a colorful,
thanks, buddy,
fancy country, and I was always wondering why the banner landscape is so boring. So there must be a lack of creativity somewhere in agencies, not to bother anybody. And so I was wondering how can native pick up here, because native is also not very colorful, etc. But when you look into the newspaper landscape also here in India, you see that editorials really work good. And when you see how it's booming up in Europe, in the US, I think it will be a big topic here as well. And I think it will bring a change to this banner blindness we have everywhere. And I hope that it will not just remain a buzzword again, because we had so many buzzwords during the last few years. Everyone was talking about rising stars, content is the king, everything about big data, retargeting. Yeah, retargeting will kill everything. Yeah, retargeting kills me, because just a short example, we just opened an office in Singapore, and I settled down now in a service apartment there. And sitting in this apartment, retargeting still shows me ad, rent a service apartment in Singapore now. So there is a lack of data missing, telling my retargeter, hey guy, this guy is already living in such an apartment. Sorry for my landlord there. He pays now for the ad and I'm already living in his apartment. So there is always, I think everything needs to get more mature, that we really can make the best of it. And I remember when 6 years back everybody said content is the king. You need to be content related ads. I think the time was not there at this time, and I think the time is coming now. And I think technology is here now to make it possible that we really can deliver content related ads and make it more successful there.
Fantastic. And what do you think of the performance? You know, it's been it's been talked about a lot. Do you think it's going to hold up with the time, or do you think it's going to change either ways? As we go down with more experience.
I mean, the thing is always how do you define performance? When you talk guys, they say it's engagement.
Yes.
When you talk about engagement and native ads, you will maybe have a problem. You can't measure engagement, you don't really see a lot of engagement. When you look into performance marketers and they're talking about CTRs
That's right.
and CPIs, then of course they will say, hey, it is. But I also think it all depends on the quality of the ads. It all depends how the ads are made, because we still have banner out there with really high click-through rates.
Okay.
Excellent banners. I mean, we all know these examples. And I think just building a native ad is not the one-in-all solution to increase performance. You need to do it really good.
Okay. Any special tips on that? Do you have any more thoughts on that? What do you think is the one that is going to drive performance on that?
I would love to have the solution for this.
Okay.
But I think it's everywhere the same. You need to bring to your audience an ad he is really interested in.
Okay.
It's the same. I mean, I really love how Amazon is doing it since years now, and they've been showing us it's really good when you know your user, when you know your clients, you can show them an ad he's really interested in. And Amazon is a step farther than all our retargeters are, because they know when I bought something, they stop showing me this ad.
Okay.
The retargeter doesn't show because he's lacking in information. And when it comes to content related, it always depends, how do I define content related ads? Is it the topic of my website, or is it the topic of the article? Then we come again into this contextual targeting stuff, and contextual can be dangerous. We know it from the past. Airplane crash, Malaysia. Oh, cheap flights with Malaysian Airlines doesn't work. So we really need to see how we use technology smart and how we can bring it up. And when content and ad match, then I think we will be successful.
Okay. And now the question that most of us in the advertising would think about, how do you think the revenues are going to move, mobile versus the desktop? Because mobile is just about 10% of the total advertising spend in India. Do you think it's going to grow up with native? How do you think?
I think it will grow up because, I mean, we have really, really big growth rates, especially here in Asia, Southeast Asia on mobile. And I see it from our clients that more than 80-85% is not monetized.
Yeah.
There are too less campaigns out there. There must be a really problem in monetizing this traffic. And I think these small banners, these 320 by 50, I think they will die. Because the CTRs you're getting there, they just happen on incident, because someone tries to click away the banner and then he made a click through.
Yeah.
So I think native and mobile is a combination that's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure that the next 2 years this will pick up and drive revenue on mobile.
So you think 3 years is the time which you really think it's going to boom?
I really believe in this, yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I would now like to please invite Vinod Thadani. He is the Chief Digital Officer of Mindshare and heading the South Asia. And Yashita, who's heading our web sales, will pose a few tricky questions your way, Vinod.
Sure, bring it on.
Thank you, Vinod, for coming by.
Thanks, Yashita. Thanks, Swapnil.
Okay. So, native being the buzzword right now, and clearly from an agency perspective, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions because a lot of evangelizing yet needs to happen on native because there are various formats that native has to offer. So, clearly from Mindshare's perspective right now, so how do you guys want to like divide spends across all digital platforms, say whether it's search or native, because there are different performance metrics for each of them. So, how would you all evaluate native per se amidst the entire digital framework?
I think the answer can be as complicated or simple as it can be. I think it's not whether I have to divide my spends on native X percentage versus mobile X percentage versus search. I think it all stems from the client brief. If the brief requires advertising and it could be a mobile out as the center of the medium, or it could be display, or it could be search, so be it. So I don't think so. We plan basis that I have to put in 10% on mobile and 20% on display and 30% on search, so on. I think it actually stems from what the client KPIs are and what requires it to give the best trust in the business. I think native being the way it is currently, I think it has a huge potential to garner some kind of quality spends from the clients because the way it's from the consumer out. And what I also see from brands which we've started doing native advertising is there's an excellent click-through. Because it's part of your editorial communication and the consumers are liking it, and hence it's a great post-eval to my brands. So I think that's it.
What about native on mobile? I mean, how do you feel that's going to be accepted by clients and advertisers in general? What do you feel about that?
I think we just heard the last session. I think the gentleman said around 2 or 3 years to Gaurav. I would feel. From the last 2-3 years, I've been hearing this is the year of mobile, this is the year of mobile. And I've been passionate myself about the medium for a long time. I think 2016, 2017 will be the year for native on mobile. And we'll see many people, advertisers, agencies, understanding this medium far better than what it is today. Because it's ever evolving, right? And it's all up to us as agencies and brands and the ecosystem to evangelize this medium, make excellent case studies and stories, and use this kind of forums to actually talk about them so that people outside understand how native advertising can work for their brands. Coming back to your question, whether it's mobile or PC, I don't see a difference. I think it's different screens. It's basically where the consumer is, and the consumer can be on mobile, can be on a desktop. As long as he's loving the advertising, your work is done.
With the Mindshare set of clients right now, do you have like a specific strategy for native in the coming year of 2015 and 16?
Oh yes, I think we've already done some campaigns from native advertising, and we've got excellent results when we go back to our clients. So in terms of strategy, yes, we have a chalked out strategy on digital. That's where we sit together as a team and we understand what are the trust areas which we're going to do this year. And native is definitely one part of it because we also want to understand more so that we can educate our clients better. I think having said that, I think 15, 16, 17, I think these current year and the next year, I feel that native advertising has many things to grow. Especially when we are talking about, I liked Swapnil's example when he gave the Singapore Airlines example from content to a banner. I think that's where people are actually migrating from, from showing a 30-second television commercial to a 4-minute or a 5-minute storytelling on the digital medium. And I think that's where native has a huge role to play because it's part of your editorial coverage and consumers are loving it. And the brands are getting excellent results. So I think, I think 2015-16 would be the year for native. And I love the presentation which Swapnil also spoke about technology, the way forward on native, because currently we were talking to humans and now pragmatic being the way. And you exactly know what my ads are going to be placed, where is it going to be placed, what is the time of the day it's going to be placed. So you're much more well prepared for that.
Coming back to actually the spends part of it, I mean, native today is being sold on a PPC model, as you're aware. So how do you think that's going to affect the other PPC models like that of search or other performance campaigns that you're seeing right now? Do you see it making any difference?
I don't think so, Yashi. I think it's an early question. We've yet to understand what part of the ecosystem eats up the other part. I think when mobile was, coming in, and today we are talking about year of mobile again. They're talking about mobile eating into digital spends. I don't see that. I think it's the share of the wallet from a client's end needs to increase, and I think that's what all of us in the ecosystem need to believe in. If you have 100 rupees from a client and you have to split into, let's say, search, mobile, social, display, what about including native inside? And everybody is fighting between themselves. Why don't you go back to a client and tell him why this is important for his campaign? And instead of that 100 rupee share of wallet, make that 130. I think everybody survives and everyone grows. I think that should be the spirit of the team over here.
Thank you so much, Vinod. Thank you
Thanks,
so much
Yashi.
for having us.
Thanks.
Thanks, Vinod. Just stick around. Guys, we have, while we have the presence of Vinod, Michael, and Praveer, any questions you guys want to ask? These are smart guys, right? So, come on, guys. Something, anything?
There are short goodies for everyone who's asking a nice question, please.
Yes, the goodies are there for good questions.
Summer's eyes are looking. You want to ask something, Summer?
Here on the stage. Come.
Swapnil, my question's for you. Being a premium content owner like Times, do you see value in benchmarking a product like this to something like an Outbrain, or do you see value in building this like the brand side of native, which is how a WSJ and NYT works? That's one part of the question. I think the second bit is also, I see tremendous value the day you can build this outside the ecosystem of Times, right? Because then you've got a massive distribution that you're tapping into. Do you see that as a big challenge? Because I think, clearly there's a conflict of interest being, considering its time is the largest kind of content owner. So do you see that as a challenge? And do you see, from a long-term perspective, do you see value in going the performance way on native, which is what you're doing currently? Or do you see value in benchmarking it against what an NYT or a WHA is doing today?
No, this is a great question, Samar. Definitely we want to stick on the brand side of native in that sense, right? We don't want to commoditize our inventory on that. So, but at the same time, the inventory we see is two parts. One is premium inventory, and that sort of goes into the second part of the question, where we'll go outside or not. So we have the premium inventory, which is, say, Times Internet inventory. But already everybody's reaching out to the other inventory. We have a publisher trading desk with AppNexus, and and a lot of everybody, all the other publishers are also building that out. So we are anyways reaching out. The second part of the inventory may not be so premium, and that may go into the realms of SEM and Outbrain and Tabulas. But at least in Times, we want to sort of preserve our brand, image when we go native. We don't want to cannibalize our image and just say, okay, now it's all long tail. We are not long tail. Anything else, guys?
Next question. Anyone? I see Shane. Shane, you want to ask something? You look pretty curious. You want to ask something here? KG, you launching your own native ad platform. Anything else that you want to ask?
Hi guys. So how do you guys think you're going to address scalability between all of y'all? Y'all are all of y'all are a value chain right now. You have the client to the publisher and the stack in between, right? Sorry if I don't mean any offense, but scalability is a big challenge, and the industry's still not solved it. While talking about native, creative, and mobile, how are we going to make it scalable?
I just feel that we're like 4 kids who have not done the homework today, studying from the class. But then to your question, I think with the IIP opening up standards, I think the more these standards are creative, the more scale can come, because things have to be standardized for things to hit a scale. This was not there up till now. With IIB coming on board, with these standards being put in place, with Times, the other guys kind of jumping onto the board, I think scale will come. For us, we are somebody who will integrate all of these things. You have specialist partners, you have the agencies who will then leverage and take it to the ecosystem. So with standards now being set, I think it's just going to scale. It's just a factor which drives everything forward. Standardization across the world, and things move really fast.
Talking from a technology perspective, for us it's quite simple. If we deliver a banner or a native ad, the difference is not as big as it looks like from the outside. And also talking from AOL side as a publisher, we are seeing much more income coming, especially in the US. Instead of having your remnant inventory monetize through ad exchanges or RTB systems. So it brings much more value. And I would say for a publisher in general, it brings more money. And for the agency and the advertiser, it brings better audiences.
I think from an agency side, if I have to answer this question, I think I'll wait for DoubleClick as well as the technology friends to be prepared. And once they are, I'm sure the brands and the agencies will be up to grab that. I hope that's a...
Anyone else, guys?
Looks like Jenny wants to ask a question here. Anything from the platform view? Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Guys, we have some goodies out here. Oh, you have another question there.
Hi, this is Dupinder. I just wanted to ask a question that we've seen that display doesn't tend to work in the favor of some companies which are doing advertising. So when we are talking about native, it's just putting a display ad in on content that is there. So what is the probability of it being successful against a display ad which was displayed on the same network? So how can it be will I have a better ROI to invest in that kind of advertising? Or should I just go back to my normal advertising which is giving me a better return? So is there how will it be better than a display advertising for me?
Thanks for the question. I think it's a very relevant question in today's time. Largely because India as a market, or even Southeast Asia for that matter, is very much a last click market model. When you look at trends in the US, measurement has evolved quite a bit. We all know for a fact that any user that you're targeting is not just sticking on one website or is not sticking on one kind of content. He's going across the internet and is interacting with your ad in some shape or form. So as measurement goes away from last click to more of proper attribution modeling, which is what US is very well known for. We're seeing that transformation happening in Australia. We're seeing some bit of coming into Southeast Asia. These kind of questions will fade away in the background because ads don't work in silos on the internet. They can be planned in silos, but ad works together. And when you see those ads working together between native, between display, between video, between social, between search, whatever that might be, you actually start to see what value that particular ad is driving. If you see things in isolation, it's like Sachin Tendulkar winning a match, but it was the entire team which actually led to winning a match. So that's what I think we are seeing that shift, but it's a long way to go. But if you're still a last click guy, you're still going to question or have these kind of questions in the, hey, how effective display is versus native. But the question should be how effective my overall channel mix is when I'm advertising online. So that's a more better way of looking at this particular situation that we have.
Hi, so one question I really want to understand from a technology perspective. When you're placing an ad, there are too many technologies that are, or I would say companies that have evolved or coming up, mushrooming in small spaces. Just to place an ad, I need an ad server, I need a audience analytics, I need an inventory optimizer, and there are so many mixes that I need to place one ad. So that's option one, and there is option two where someone's trying to do a customized fit from a technology perspective and trying to have a hybrid kind of a model. Which model do you think a publisher or a content guy should go in for?
Okay, I can take that up because Google has come a long way in addressing that particular problem around different kind of technologies which are existing in the ecosystem. When you talk about ad servers, when you talk about DMPs, when you talk about analytics, we have been able to kind of bring all of these into a single stack. But then any time in the ecosystem when you see a jump, there are people who can do things which are unique, things which are very differentiated, which only they can do. They run in the short term, but you will see a lot of acquisitions come into play and they get bought out by the larger organizations. So the choice advertisers, publishers, agencies really have to make is, should I go with what is solving my problem today? Or should I go with a strategic partner which is offering me pretty much everything end to end, and I can then run with that in the longer term? Biggest mistakes Indian advertisers do is that they look at a quarter by quarter, but technology is not a quarter by quarter decision. It's a fairly long RFP process. You need to understand what business problems you're trying to solve, not just marketing problems. So there are stack solutions available in the market, which was not there. All these smaller ones which are popping up are fantastic solutions in their own respect. But in the next 2-3 years, they'll get bought out by the bigger guys and they'll get merged. You're already seeing that happening in India as well. You've seen that happening all over the world. So all those independent companies are going to get bought out and will become part of the larger solution that bigger organizations can offer.
Great. Thanks, guys. We are out of time, but really appreciate you coming here. Panelists, please, thanks. Applause for you guys to just be there at short notice. I know we just literally bugged you 2 days ago and you were there. So thank you. Thank you all. There are some goodies for you because you've been patient in all this noisy crowd. So please, thank you.